Hi guys, I'm back with another lecture of FOIB, and just a brief introduction. I'm Sandhya Rao, working as an assistant professor at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. And in the last lecture, I talked about the different factors affecting country evaluation and selection and FDI and FPI. Now, in this lecture, I'll talk about the different controlling methods in international business. So, let's get started. So, I'll talk about the different control mechanisms that we have in international business. Starting with personal control, this is basically when we are trying to exercise control on ourselves. So that's personal control. जब हम खुद पर कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करते हैं, अपने सबऑर्डिनेट्स पर डायरेक्ट कंट्रोल एक्सरसाइज करते हैं पर्सनल कॉन्टैक्ट के थ्रू, दैट्स कॉल्ड पर्सनल कंट्रोल. एंड दिस इज द मोस्ट वाइडली यूज्ड काइंड ऑफ कंट्रोल mechanism in small firms for providing direct supervision of operational and employee management. Then we have bureaucratic control, in which we try to control the कैपिटल स्पेंडिंग रूल्स. एक एग्जांपल हो गया जिसमें कि हम रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस प्रोसीजर्स को डायरेक्टली इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं सो एज टू कंट्रोल द entire system. So that's bureaucratic control. Then we have output control, in which we are trying to control the output, the quantity that's going to be produced. So when we are trying to control the productivity, profitability, growth, market share, and quality of product, that's what output control is. Then we have cultural control, in which we try to um, control the organizational culture, as in how people interact with each other, what's the authority structure, what's the hierarchy which is being followed in the organization. So when all these factors are being influenced, when they are being controlled, that's called cultural control. And we have different approaches to control mechanism, starting with market approach. So in this way, you try to control the market. So market mechanism and the behavior of management within the organizational units of an MNC are being controlled. तो एक market की को study करके जब हम control exercise करते हैं, that's what market approach is. Then we have rules approach, in which we alter the rules and regulations in the organization, as in how we are going to report, the formal reporting system, or how plans are going to be made, and what's going to be the authority relationship between the subordinate and superior, and anything which is in formalized manner. When we try to control that particular thing, that's called rules approach. Then we have corporate culture approach, in which we control the organizational culture. This is how the employees internalize the goals by building a strong set of values. The organizational value syndication influences the operational mechanism of the organization. And it has been observed that even when some organizations have strong norms of behavioral control, they are informal and less explicit. So corporate culture approach require more time to bring the aimed change or adjustments in an organization, because these things are not very explicit. When we talk about behavior, when we talk about value, they most of them are implicit in nature. So it's time consuming when you are trying to control things using this technique, corporate cultural approach. Then definitely it will be time consuming. Then we have reporting culture as well, in which we prepare a powerful control mechanism. It is used while allocating resources, or while the top management wants to monitor the performance of the firm and the employees. So here we reward the personnel when they are doing a good activity in the organization. However, to get the maximum out of reporting approach, the report must be frequent, correct, and useful. So, for example, regular tests are being conducted by these schools and colleges so as to give a proper report about the students' performance. And frequent and correct, useful reporting culture ensures that good reports are being made, and we actually get to know what's the true picture. Then also visit to subsidiaries can be done. The top management can pay visits to the subsidiary units. And again, this is one of the common approach that is being followed. The disadvantage is that sometimes we cannot collect all the information via visits, because in international business, a person who is sitting in a domestic country will not be paying frequent visits to abroad so as to check and inspect the accounts whether they are being made on made after proper um, made on the basis of proper guidelines or not. So this kind of exercise becomes more time consuming, and sometimes all the information cannot be collected by this method. Then we have management performance evaluation, in which we try to evaluate the performance of the management. So it is used to evaluate the subsidiary managers for the subsidiary's performance. So, however, as decision making authority is different from operational managers, some aspects of control cannot be managed via this approach. Slow growth rate of firm and risky economical and political environments require this kind of approach. जहाँ पे आप मैनेजमेंट की ही परफॉर्मेंस को रिव्यू करते हो दैट हाउ दे आर डूइंग हाउ दे आर मैनेजिंग थिंग्स बट दिस इज डन फॉर सब्सिडरी यूनिट्स कि उन यूनिट्स के मैनेजर्स कैसे परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. देन वी हैव कॉस्ट इन अकाउंटिंग comparisons, in which we try to compare the books of accounts कि accounts में तो कोई गड़बड़ नहीं है, कोई हेरा फेरी नहीं है. It arises due to difference in expenditure among various units of subsidiaries. A meaningful comparison of the operating performance of the units is necessary to get the full output from this approach. Cost accounting comparison uses a set of rules that are applicable to the home country principles to meet reporting requirements. Then we have constraint of control approach, in which we are trying to say that what happens is that control approaches are not uniform in every country. They differ because of certain rules and regulations that prevail in a particular country. So international firms have to face severe constraints based on which they modify their control mechanism in every country. Now, here is a list of major constraints that affect an organization in setting its managerial control mechanism. Distance is there, geographical distance is there, because of which sometimes it becomes difficult to exercise the same control that we are having in a domestic country. Okay, then diversity. People are diverse on the basis of culture, on the basis of their values, on the basis of their religion, on the basis of their age, gender. So there's a lot of diversity that prevails in India, if I talk about, and there's a lot of diversity, or let's say India is very much a diverse country as compared to other foreign nations, for example, US or let's say Japan. So this diversity also becomes a major constraint when we try to compare the different countries for control approaches. Also, there's a degree of uncertainty that whether this particular control mechanism will work or not, because um, something which works better or which suits you in this country will not work for you in another country. So there's always a degree of uncertainty, and also the data that you are trying to collect on the basis of which you are preparing the control mechanism may not be uncertain or may not be correct, may not be reliable. So these are some of the problems that usually occur when we talk about the management. Okay, so this is it for this lecture, and the two questions that I want to give you out of this lecture is that you have to explain the different controlling mechanism or controlling methods that we have, and also you have to explain that how they differ in domestic and international context. Okay, so what are the problems that we face or constraint of control approaches? So this is these two questions are your homework. So this is it for this lecture.